But I had a taco, and it had like that texture of sour cream.
Okay,
in
so
it,
did you
and it
have
tastes awful.
the sour cream like on like a Taco Bell taco?
Yeah. And it's
Okay, so
surprising.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
So that was the problem.
Yeah,
it's not.
sour cream such as I used to work there. I fucking hate
it's
it.
shit for Taco Bell.
It's so bad.
Is
Not
this
good.
right?
Yes.
Can you not tell that there's a tint of
Oh,
brown in that?
That's weird.
No, but like, okay, let me paint the picture. So you like potatoes.
Right.
You like butter.
Potatoes are
I like
so
Do
where
you
this is
like?
going.
Do you like you like fries?
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
okay.
Who doesn't?
So here we go. Baked potato. Once it's hot, you put the you cut it open. You cut the squares. And you start cutting it through.
Mhm.
Okay. You put a dollop of butter on it.
A doolop?
Doo-wop.
A dollop, a
dollop?
dollop, a
A
daisy.
dollop?
A
There we go.
A
That's-
dollop?
and that came from sour cream. That's yeah. Okay. You put the butter on the potato. It
Right.
starts melting. It's already good. Okay. Now we're sprinkling some seasonings on there.
Chives.
No,
Green onions.
not yet. Not
Oh.
yet. Put the sour cream on there. Okay. And not much. You don't have to do much. You don't have to overload the cream here.
Okay.
Okay. And then you let it combobulate itself.
What?
Combinize or whatever.
Combinize?
Combination.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm
Combination
back in Miss Tackett's class.
Combination station on this potato. Then you can start adding your chives. You can add your shredded cheese and other things like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we at the sour cream yet?
Yeah, I just said this.
Yeah,
Sour
when we
cream.
started talking about the
dollop,
freaking...
That was
the doolop. Oh,
that
the
was
doolop.
That
That
was
was
the
the
dollop of
doolop.
daisy.
Why do you keep saying daisies?
That's how they literally what?
Next dinner.
It's literally Daisy brand. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The sour.
I
I'm
thought
a-
you were just saying
Dollop a
daisy.
dollop of Daisy is the sour cream commercial.
That's
That
a
should be a
tongue
tongue
twister.
twister.
Yeah.
Doolop a dollop of the daisy. Yeah,
Have you
what?
never heard of that?
No, I've never heard of
That's a
that.
thing, Victoria. That's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all are
Doo-wop,
tripping.
a
There's a whole
dollop,
song
a
about it.
daisy.
Yeah.
Doo-wop,
see,
a
doo-wop, a
dollop
dollop
of
of
da-
Daisy, and it's like a jingle.
What?
Yeah.
Next dinner.
Next
You're gonna make me.
Next dinner.
A baked
You know, I'll do
potato.
it when we come home. But
Okay. Hey, buddy.
oh my gosh.
Oh my
Joey.
gosh! Don't spill the Sprite.
Wow.
Now it's on your hand, and now your hand's gonna be sticky the whole show. So congratulations,
Thank you.
Victoria. He's gonna be a mess over here.
Yeah.
Okay, should we get started?
Yeah.
You are now listening to the Downtown Dropouts.
All right. Welcome to the Downtown Dropouts, ladies and gentlemen. We're on week 3 recap.
Yeah. Episode 4. All right. Uncut. Let's just start with Monday night. Jaden Daniels against Cincinnati. That was the biggest surprise so far of the season, in my opinion.
Jaden Daniels has arrived. What was it? Passing touchdowns?
3
Rushing?
passing touchdowns,
Oh.
2 incompletions.
Wow. Absolute spotless football. No, Jaden Daniels definitely. He's here. You know, he was drafted number 2 out of LSU by the Commanders. Fantastic game. He started off 1-1 on the year, defeating the Giants in week 2. You know, they built off an incredible week 2 performance and got the dub.
Yeah, so the question I had after this game, because I watched that game and I saw probably the best quarterback play out of a Washington Commanders/Redskins player in a long time. So do you think this is where the Washington Commanders organization turns around?
You know, I think it's definitely possible. They turn around here. They had a great quarterback in Kirk O'Chains,
Right.
who we'll talk about later. But, you know, ever since Kirk Cousins, who have they really had at
I
quarterback?
mean, just look at the history of young rookie quarterbacks that they've had. They've had, like, short stints. You'll get Dwayne Haskins,
Oh, yeah.
Robert Griffin.
Sam Howell didn't last too long
No.
with the Commanders either.
Yeah, and so, but I honestly think, like, I haven't seen a quarterback play like this in Washington in a while. Even Jamar Chase after the game was like, yeah, this guy is legit.
Yeah, speaking of Jamar Chase, what a game he had. on the other side of Jaden Daniels, Jamar Chase led his team with 6 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hey,
Pretty good day.
pretty good day. Fantasy owners of Jamar Chase not been too happy with his performance the past few weeks, but really turned it around with 29-point game. Woo!
Yeah, that was a back and forth game. The Bengals are 0-3. You always see like these memes now of like same script like year after year for Joe Burrow. I don't know what it is about them at the beginning of the season, but
They really
always
just do
start
suck.
off, so slow, and I mean they really haven't even had like too many challenges. I wouldn't think like Jaden Daniels and a young Washington Commanders team would really give them that much of an issue, but he really stepped it up.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, 2nd overall pick. Do you think he's got the Rookie of the Year in the bag at this point?
The way
I mean, I was just about to agree with you. I think as of right now, I think he's wearing that crown.
And it's like, I don't want to say a win by default right now, but out of all the rookies that are playing, especially rookie quarterbacks, he's head and shoulders above everyone else right now.
Oh, yeah,
Haven't
absolutely.
seen much out of Caleb Williams. He got really hyped up in the preseason. We saw a little bit out of Drake May, but he's still not starting. He's still not playing really. I'm missing someone, I know, at rookie QB right now.
J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, but they pulled off a win this week.
Yeah, no, they definitely
But I would
did.
say, Jaden Daniels that game was a breakout game for him, and it'll be exciting to watch him play after that.
Yeah, some other names to look out for on the Rookie of the Year. Malik Neighbors. I really think Malik Neighbors could get it. After that game he had with the Giants this past week, he had 2 touchdowns. He really was just electric. And on top of that, Marvin Harrison Jr. over in Arizona.
Yeah. I know, great game week before. Really started to light it up. So we'll see how it turns out throughout the season, but Jaden Daniels is going to have a target on his back going into next week.
Yeah, no, I think the Rookie of the Year is his title just to lose.
Chase,
Yeah.
what is the Chase down of the week?
Dude, let's get into it, and then we'll break halfway through to talk about one of our new little things going on with the Panthers. But starting off on Thursday, we had the Patriots taking a big L from the Jets, and when I mean huge L, I mean Aaron Rodgers really popping off. I don't know, how old is he? Do we know? He's 40.
36?
Is he?
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers is 40.
He's 40.
Yeah, and he didn't look a day over 25 in that whole
No,
game.
he can move.
Played really good
Yeah.
in and out of the pocket. Next we had the Giants and the Browns, with Giants taking the lead 21-15. Here we go with some teams we thought were going to do surprisingly well, but actually kind of got shut down since they were against an okay matchup this week. We had the Saints and the Eagles, and the Eagles, coming back from their last week's loss with the Falcons, of course, and they had to show their stuff, and they took Derek Carr down 15-12. Same with the Texans and the Vikings. We thought that the Vikings were gonna, show some skills here, and then they just really honestly they got demolished by the Vikings, which going against a good team for the first time I think really showed some colors. The Vikings taking them down 34-7. Broncos, Bo Nix actually going really crazy.
Bo Nix did good.
26-7. I'm sure the locker room after that game was lit up. It was
absolutely.
the coach. I'm pretty sure, was that their first win of.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so with that rookie, it was just spirits were high.
Yeah, I think going into the game, there's a lot of question marks surrounding Bo Nix. Are they going to start Zach Wilson or Jarrett Stidham? But I think Bo Nix solidified himself as the starter in Denver this weekend.
Yeah, they're going to have to ride with him now after that win.
Yeah, I definitely see where it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks for sure. Then on Sunday we had the Packers and the Titans, with the Packers coming on top 30-14. The Colts actually making a surprising win here, 21-16. Our little gang, if you didn't hear from last episode, we kind of came together and said that the Bears were gonna trying to win this one. But
Yeah, I
actually
definitely
got
thought
shut
the
down.
Bears were going to win. That is one of the predictions I got wrong
Yeah,
this week.
no,
Actually, every prediction that you hit might have been wrong.
Yeah, I
know
got
that-
the Seahawks right.
Yeah,
That's
and
about-
Caleb Williams did get his first passing touchdown.
And it was to Romo Dunze.
Really?
Exactly.
Yes,
It was.
yes.
Yeah, his
That-
first and second, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but every other like the Saints lost, and then the Texans got cooked.
Saints
and-
lost. I even
and
picked the
the-
Saints over my team, and they lost. But I'll take it.
Yeah, the only thing I'm not taking is the fact that I started Derek Carr because of how good he's been doing.
Yeah,
But
I think it's more that Philly defense though than
Yeah,
the
Philly's-
Saints offense. I'm a little biased here, but their secondary really showed up.
going on to another Sunday game with the Steelers and the Chargers. The Steelers coming on top, 20-10. I know we kind of thought that the Chargers were going to be whooping
Yeah.
up on that one with that new coach, and
Yeah, I think Herbert was a little banged up going into the game.
Taylor Heineke had to come in and finish out the fourth quarter for him.
Yeah, I kind of figured that game would be a little up in the air. The Chargers got a rivalry coming up next week, so I figured that would be a little up in the air if Herbert played or not. And so yeah, I wasn't surprised Heineke came in to finish that game.
yeah, and then Seahawks and the Dolphins. Seahawks going 24-3, shutting the Miami Dolphins away, and Charbonnet actually getting me 25 points. One of the best trades I think of the week for for fantasy.
Yeah, we had this fantasy trade. I traded Derek Carr and Zach Charbonnet to Chase for Kyler Murray. And Kyler put up, 16 points. Not crazy, but respectable. But Charbonnet did very good for you.
Yeah, Charbonnet definitely locked in. It was a beautiful game, the Seahawks.
Can we talk about your other trades that didn't go? Can we just make that a segment? Your trades that really
You know what?
just-
Yeah,
they
let's make
just
this a
flopped.
segment.
You had so many flops trades these last couple weeks.
No, in our fantasy football league, I am kind of known as, I don't even know what you would call it.
You're literally called a gray area. That's what we should call this
I
segment.
am the
you
gray
are a gray
area.
area.
No, I offer kind of crazy trades and they get accepted. Maybe due to lack of experience within our league. Maybe I
Yeah.
just finesse them. Whatever it might be.
You attempt to finesse them.
And oftentimes I get away with it. Let's be
Well,
real.
yeah, no, but it's really backfired on you the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm 0-3
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
to start the year. But yeah, a couple of my trades. I traded Drake London and I don't even know who it was. Do you remember who it was? I don't remember. But I think it was Drake London and Adonai Mitchell for Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And then I flipped Malik Neighbors for Josh Jacobs.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, that was a while. But then Jacobs did horribly. And Malik Neighbors just put up 30 points. So,
Didn't pay off though.
Yeah.
did not pay off.
Came up short.
Yeah. And going other, we'll just talk about more of the Sunday games. Niners and the Rams. The Rams putting the Niners away 27-24. And weren't they down like a bunch of players this week? Like Cooper Kupp wasn't
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rams with a surprising
Yeah,
win.
that honestly could have been a steal the show moment, but I think we'll get to another team that actually wrapped it up pretty well. Lions beating the Cardinals 20-13. This was another one of those teams that we thought, especially with Murray and Harrison, that we kind of thought we had a new duo coming out of the water here, but getting shut down by the Lions, of course.
They did link up for a touchdown in that game, though.
Yeah, and then Ravens beating the Boys. Boys are just not having a good
No,
start.
they don't.
Not at all.
They don't have the same roster that
No,
they've had
they
in the
don't.
past at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't have playmakers on the side, on either side of the ball that they had. I mean, they have a few, but I mean, they lose Tony Pollard. Their offensive linemen are getting older. It's not the same team at all.
Right. And I mean, of course, the Ravens taking them down this week again. What's the score for the Boys? Is it now 0-3 or
They're 1-2.
1-2?
Who
Okay.
did they beat week 1?
Browns.
They beat the
Browns,
Browns,
okay,
which
okay.
looked like the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah. And
After losing to the Giants.
yeah, no, Dallas's offense looked a little promising to start, and then
Yeah.
really lost it these last
And then
few
we really
weeks.
saw it week 2 and week 3 on it just wasn't good against the Saints or Ravens. And then wrapping up that Sunday. Oh no, actually not wrapping up that Sunday. We had the Chiefs and the Falcons, which the Chiefs, honestly, the Falcons could have had another ending little
Oh
part
yeah,
there.
they could have had another win.
There was a little bit of controversy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
that
There was a
game.
lot of PIs that weren't getting called. I know for a fact. Like,
I know you
Uh,
started Kyle Pitts in fantasy this weekend.
yeah, and honestly, he did okay, but
He did
it wasn't
okay.
for a tight end. You know,
For a
it
tight
just,
end, he did
especially
okay.
against the Chiefs. He didn't do the worst, and he didn't do the best. I was happy with his play, you know, and I'm keeping him. I think it's going to be an okay matchup. But wrapping up that Sunday, we had the Panthers and the Raiders. I know they didn't play at the very end, but I wanted to save them for the last game on Sunday because we actually got to see an uprising as QB, the new starter of Andy Dalton, taking over. And what are we thinking about Andy Dalton? Andy Dalton coming back and securing the starting position, especially for this week, kind of literally putting Bryce Young on the bench himself
Absolutely.
and terrorizing the Raiders. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think Dave Canales' decision to bench Bryce Young really shocked a lot of people and made them question if Dave Canales is going to run this offense and team like he should. And then I think Andy Dalton coming in and throwing for, oh Lord, was it 3 touchdowns, like 300 yards, something like that? I think him coming in and just being able to sling the rock all over a team who just beat the Ravens.
Yeah, a monster game, and we can't. If it's one game, but if he continues to play like this, we can't put the blame on Carolina's roster anymore. We can't say that Bryce Young just doesn't have the weapons around him anymore. So that's gonna really be what we look into.
Yeah,
Because it's the Raiders,
it is the Raiders.
and they beat the Ravens, but I think that game was a fluke. And who do they have lined up for next week?
It looks like Panthers and the Bengals.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so-
think that'll
yeah.
be more of a test of how will they play. But yeah, if Andy Dalton continues to play like this, what do you think that the future looks like for Bryce Young? in
You know,
Carolina?
No future.
I actually agree. No future. I think that Bryce Young could be flipped for 5th, 6th round pick. You know, I honestly think that's what his worth has fallen to.
So into the second year, I mean, first year was a complete mess, and obviously most people thought that was going to be the case. They were the number 1 draft pick for a reason. And you think that moving off of last year into this year, 0-2 start, that's enough for Carolina just to be like, kick him to the curb, we're done with him?
Well, I mean, we saw it with Josh Rosen, Mitch Trubisky. I mean, Mitch only got 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little early for them to move off that sort of value at a quarterback.
Yeah. And then, you know, of course, wrapping up on Monday, we had the Jaguars and the Bills. Pretty crazy game. Like, it
Bills are
was
legit.
a complete shutout. It was
Yeah.
Bills, Josh Allen. You know, some might even say he stole the show that one, but 47-10, you just can't even compete with that, especially the Jaguars. They're
Not at all.
you know. And then, of course, wrapping things up, we had the Commanders beating the Bengals. And I thought, you know, I'm kind of new to this whole NFL thing and, watching it and paying attention, but I genuinely thought that the Bengals had more power. I thought
The
that-
Bengals had a great game.
And I thought that once was Redskins, that it's now the Commanders. I didn't think there was anything coming out of that. I always thought that team was really bad. You know, they didn't have much of a plan or a future. And I always thought the Bengals had, the weaponry to take down anybody but the Chiefs. But
Jaden Daniels is 3 games in, and he looks like a veteran. Anytime they needed a score out of him, he was there. I mean, he's really stepped up in that fourth quarter too. Just delivered absolute dime in the end zone.
Yeah, that was a really good throw. But yeah, you know, Jaden Daniels, like we said earlier, doing enough to just get
Yeah.
wins.
That was the throw where I thought that he was legit. That
Yeah,
looks like a
absolutely.
veteran throw.
and I'd say that wraps up the weekly roster.
Yeah, the chase down of
Yeah.
the week. Thank you.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna
Move
go
on.
into our mountaintop moment of the week. You know, this is where we're going to look at different players, anything that really reached the peak of their performance, you know. So we're going to start here with Saquon Barkley for the Eagles. You know, first game as an Eagle was pretty good, right?
Yeah. No, huge game from Saquon. Yeah, he played really well.
Yeah, no, I think Saquon definitely tore it up with 147 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in his most current game against the Saints. You know, the Saints are supposed to have this lockdown defense. Like, for example, Tyrann Mathieu intercepted Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You know, Tyrann Mathieu, he's turning it up. But staying on Saquon, you know, he's also involved in the receiving game with 4 catches. Only had 9 yards, but he's really just off to this monster of a season.
I think if Saquon wasn't on that team, Philly would be 0-3.
I don't even think that's a stretch.
No, I don't. They've really needed him the last few weeks. And, I mean, you can argue that he did lose him the game in Atlanta, but without him, I don't think they'd be in the same spot they're in. You look at him, like, in New York, and you see how much he struggled like with that offensive line, and you're like, if this guy had a good offensive line, like, look what he would do.
Oh, yeah.
He's had a monster season so far.
Yeah, no. On the season, he has 351 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns through
Yeah.
3 games. Like, he's on an absolute tear, and I think he's coming for the rushing title, if not Offensive Player of the Year. For the other mountaintop moment of the week, we got Jauan Jennings. You know, I feel like it happens every year. Some random wide receiver has a crazy game, and everyone loses their mind. This year was Jauan Jennings. 11 receptions for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns. 49ers have an absolutely destroyed by injury roster with Christian McCaffrey being out and Deebo Samuel being out. Did George Kittle play this game? I think he was injured too. But
Both sides were pretty beat up.
yeah, they definitely were. Brandon Ayuk was slotted to take that number 1 role.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up just taking a backseat to Jauan Jennings in all of his glory. Like, 175 yards and 3 touchdowns doesn't just happen. But I definitely think that this is the peak of his career. I don't think anything's going to happen out of that. I don't think we're going to have to worry about a new player.
No, 49ers have so many weapons around him.
Oh, yeah.
But he stepped up. It wasn't enough. Rams had a great game. But yeah, very impressive performance out of him this week.
Yeah, and staying in the NFC, we're going to go over to Minnesota. What do we think of their win? They're 3-0.
They're the surprise team of the week. Or of the year so far.
Definitely. And, I mean, Justin Jefferson. I mean, he is just...
Justin
He
freaking
is getting,
Jefferson.
He's getting drilled. He's picking up every ball. Every single game. I don't even have to worry about like him on my... Because he's on my draft, right? And I don't even have to worry about it. I could go to bed, wake up the next morning, and realize I have 30 points on my team. I have him.
It's a good feeling to have.
Such a safety, such an insurance for my draft. It's just beautiful. And seeing, I mean, just those horns on the... Oh, my God. I'm done talking. Sorry, that was bad.
No, you're. I think we just found Justin Jefferson's number 1 fan though over here.
Yeah, I mean, he's racking up them points, dude. I gotta like him.
You know, in other Vikings news, Sam Darnold, 17 for 28, 4 touchdowns. Not a lot of passing yards, but he sure can find Justin Jefferson in the end zone.
That's what I'm saying. Bro. He's always there. Hands are always open.
No, Vikings, 4 different receivers caught touchdowns from Darnold.
Yeah. Oh. So let's ask, will the Vikings win the NFC North? Right now they're 3-0. Green Bay's a little banged up. Detroit is up there, but they look like the surprise team out of this division. Do you think they have enough to pull it off, or do you think they'll even out throughout?
I
the rest of
think
the
if Sam Darnold is legit, and he continues his play, I think they absolutely have a chance. I mean, Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, is unmatchable through the first 3 weeks of the season when it comes to defenses.
Yeah.
I mean, only allowing 7 points against the juggernaut of a Texans team.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be a test for him. I think they have Sam Darnold playing like USC football right now. Like football he hasn't played since he was at USC. That's what they've been comparing it to.
Yeah, I think if he played like he is right now with the Jets, then the Jets would never have moved on from him.
No, absolutely not. But I think it's a system. I think being with Kevin O'Connell has really changed it. But let's move on now to who stole the show this week. And first game I want to start with is Philly stealing the show against the New Orleans Saints. I had the New Orleans Saints winning this game. They've been on an absolute tear the first couple weeks, scoring 91 points through 2 weeks. And I really thought Derek Carr was going to pick it up right where he left off. I was a little shaky about where the Philly secondary was going, but they have several playmakers on that side of the ball that really just crushing it right now. Quinyon Mitchell with some big plays. Cooper DeJean stepping up, and their regular playmakers, Cameron Gardner Johnson, and
Why'd you say his full name?
Can you guard his Johnson?
CGJ,
CJGJ.
and Avonte Maddox.